limping into this game. At 1-2, how'd they get here? Well, both schools lost to Big Ten schools. Kansas to Illinois. West Virginia lost their season opener to Penn State. And both have had some monumental fourth quarter collapses. Kansas just last week to UNLV, where they were up with less than 2 minutes left, lost by 3. West Virginia in the rivalry game with Pitt up 10 with 3 minutes left, lost by 4. And both teams have been just giving the football away. And with that, we say hello, everyone. I'm Brian Custer alongside my partner, as always, Rod Gilmore. We got Lauren Sisler with us on the sideline. I'll tell you what, Rod, this is as close to a must-win as you can get for both of these squads with the issues they had. West Virginia's got a coach on a hot seat. In fact, front page of the sports section says it all. Backs against the wall.
Not good.
Let's start with Kansas, though. Preseason top 25 team, dynamic quarterback in Jaylen Daniels, but boy, is he giving the football away at an alarming rate.
Everybody's off the hype trains, but this is 2024. You can get it going, win the Big 12, and still get to the playoff, but that means better quarterback play. Jaylen Daniels has been outstanding running the football, but it's the passing game where he has struggled. He's responsible for 7 of their 8 turnovers, including 6 picks. That is uncharacteristic of him. He's got to get his confidence back and play better if they're going to be in the hunt.
West Virginia, similar issues, but their quarterback just hasn't been accurate.
Yeah, you know, Garrett Green, also great running the football, but he has one of the lowest ratings in college football in accuracy, 121st. That has been the issue. If this offense is going to get going, he's got to be on target and do more than just run with the football.
This is the 13th meeting between these two programs. First one came back in 1941. You know, West Virginia has dominated the series. They've won 10 of the last 12 meetings. Kansas won the toss, but they have elected to defer. So Tabor Allen will be kicking things away to Traylon Ray as we kick off the Big 12 Conference opener. And it's West Virginia who will start things off at the 25, and we'll get our first look at Garrett Green, the senior for the Mountaineers. And, you know, we talked about the accuracy. He's certainly been off target on 19% of his attempts. That is the 3rd worst rate in the Big 12. Keep this in perspective. He's 121 out of 133 QBs in the FBS.
Yeah, but he's got a strong arm. He is a dynamic runner. He's been elite with that the last couple of weeks.
Jaheim White with him in the backfield. And it's White who gets the call over the left side, and he picks up a couple.
Well, Green, a couple of seasons ago, was the Wildcat quarterback and has graduated to be QB1 last season and this season. The passing attack is what he needs to be really good with.
And Green will throw, hit as he let that one go. And that was J.B. Brown who came in and delivered the lick. Third and 8 coming for West Virginia. They've struggled on third down, converting just 24%. Green on the run, throws, and there's a first down. White has it.
Well, that's one way to get your quarterback going when you've struggled with accuracy. Get your running back out of the backfield, open space, and let him do the work.
15-yard pickup. 1st and 10 from their own 42. Gallagher in motion. But Green's going to keep it. And he's across the 45.
You know, because this offense is really sort of designed to be a run-first offense, and they're also big about getting to the perimeter, the option game, and the outside zone stretch play, if you will.
Here's White. Again, trying that left side. Brought down in midfield. Marvin Grant was the first Jayhawk to meet him.
And as we speak, that is the stretch play. It is a signature play for this offense. It's a signature play that they love to run. A lot easier to handle for the offensive lineman, and it gives them a 3rd and short.
C.J. Danielson has checked into the backfield, seeing his first action, replacing White. And it's Donaldson with the carry. And it's Donaldson with a first down, and he is without question been the most consistent running back. Leads them in rushing, also has 3 touchdowns. In fact, he's scored a touchdown in 3 straight games as we take a look at our impact players, brought to you by Cracker Barrel.
Well, you know, the quarterbacks have been saying, I need some help, and these running backs have provided it the last couple of weeks. Neal, an all-time great at Kansas. Donaldson and White, the 1-2 punch for West Virginia.
Here's Green through the air again, and that's incomplete. He was looking at Jayhawks White.
All due respect to Posty and his colleagues for, I need some help.
DJ Warner was all over him like a blanket. So 2nd and 10 here for the Mountaineers.
We might get to see Garrett Green work against what is a really good secondary, particularly the corners out here. A couple of outstanding players.
He keeps it and brought down. Great defensive play by the Jayhawks.
That's DJ Withers making the move inside, creating now what is a 3rd and long situation. And you know, they're being very cautious offensively right now with Green getting his confidence up. Hasn't had to make a difficult throw yet, and shouldn't have to here. I'd expect you see, you know, sort of the screen game, the RPO game, or something to the outside. Most of his throws are outside the hash marks.
West Virginia came into this game last in the Big 12, converting 3rd downs, but so far 2 for 2 on this drive. Here's Green again. Throws, incomplete.
Yeah, and he's testing the wrong guy over there.
Let me tell you something. Kansas has a pair of corners, 2 of the best in college football, in Kobe Bryant and Mello Dotson.
What did Kobe Bryant say before the game? Call me Mamba?
Call me the Mamba.
Well, you know, if you get called Mamba, you got to have that Mamba mentality, and he showed that on that play. You know, coming around, kind of locked up singly. Let him get in here. Get that right hand in there. It's a great play.
Oliver Straw will come and punt things away, and Trevor Wilson for Kansas, standing at his own 8. And it takes a West Virginia bounce, and they will down it inside the 10. Coming up, you want to talk an impact player? How about Devin Neal? He's run for 100 in every game this season. Devin Neal, the Jayhawk offense, when we come back. No score here in Morgantown. Kansas, West Virginia, Big 12 conference opener for both of these programs. And Kansas with the football for the first time in the game. Our first look at Jaylen Daniels, and this is the Jaylen Daniels they want to see. Look at what he did the last time these 2 teams met here in Morgantown. Boy, a game he had 3 passing TDs, 200 yards through the air, and no turnovers. This is Devin Neal, though, over their right side, and Devin Neal is close to the line of gain, about a pickup of 8. And this is a guy who has rushed for 100 yards every game this season, and 6 straight if you go back to last season.
He's got a chance to be one of the all-time great running backs at Kansas. I'm talking about mentioning him with the likes of John Riggins, Gale Sayers, and, you know, that's some pretty esteemed company.
He's in the backfield now with Daniels in the pistol. And he gets the call again, and he's got a first down. Josiah Trotter makes the stop for West Virginia.
And as well as Neal has played, this offense, even though it believes in pounding you, needs the quarterback to make plays, not just with his feet, but throwing the ball. They have to get big plays. They have to have him throw the ball down the field. They have to have him make the intermediate throw, and that's been an issue the last couple of weeks.
And you want to throw against this West Virginia secondary that's had major issues. And that's complete to Trevor Cardell.
Well, you mentioned the West Virginia secondary. This has been a challenging week for this defense. You know, they've had basically tryouts for the corner spots.
Yes.
They've replaced the 2 starters from last week with 2 new starters. And Neil Brown has publicly talked about just how poor the play has been at the cornerback spot.
They've given up on average 280 yards through the air. They've already given up 8 touchdowns. Here's Neil again. Grinding. Sean Martin drags him down.
Yeah, really good job against that counter play. Start one direction, come back the other. Now, this offense is run by the offensive coordinator, Jeff Grimes. And Grimes believes in having big people beat up on little people. A lot of teams are using 5 defensive backs, sometimes 6. He likes having lots of tight ends. This 3rd down and short is right up his alley. We'll see multiple tight ends used by Kansas today.
3 of them in right now. And it's Neal. And that's a first down for Kansas.
You know, and the other thing, because all these tight ends, they do a lot of shifting and motion. And that's all designed to create some confusion on the defensive side, particularly the secondary. And with the West Virginia defensive backs having trouble, I would expect West Virginia to be very vanilla on the back end so that they don't have to deal with making changes and audibles. They'll let the safeties handle these changes and not involve the corners.
Daniels wants to test that secondary. He'll swing it out. There's Daniel Highshaw. Welcome back, Highshaw, who missed last week with the flu.
Do we have a block in the back that didn't get called over there? I saw a great effort by Aubrey Burks to get in position to turn this ball in, and it looked like he had a tight end, Jared Casey, all on his back. But Casey must have pulled off. No flag.
So the Jayhawks will be looking at 2nd and 5. Luke Grimm, the end around, and Trey Lathan makes the stop.
Well, that brings up a 3rd down, a passing situation. How much confidence do they have in their quarterback here, Daniels? You see the great play by Lathan coming from the backside.
Daniels on the season with 6 interceptions.
Let's see how confident he is. Is he confident enough to test the middle of the field? Will they keep him with short passes to the outside?
Daniels will throw. Under pressure and sack. T.J. Jackson. The transfer out of Troy. This guy has been phenomenal for West Virginia. He was the Big 12 newcomer of the week. He had 4 tackles for a loss and 1.5 sacks for Pitt just last week. That was most for a West Virginia player since 2018.
Yeah, take a look at him just using his speed, and that is a matchup that he should enjoy most of the day. If Cable Duke gets his hands on you, you've got a problem. But the quickness of Jackson is going to be a problem for this offensive line.
Damon Graves pumped things away. Rodney Gallagher back deep for West Virginia. And it will take a Jayhawk roll. They'll down that one at the 22. Big sack by T.J. Jackson. He has made a career year already. West Virginia football when we come back.
ESPN College Football is brought to you by Sling. Choose and customize your channel lineup. Sling lets you do that. And Ram Trucks, built to serve.
No score here in Morgantown. West Virginia with the football again. Let's go down to the field. Here's Lauren Sisler.
Yeah, guys, West Virginia 1-2 on the season, so of course there's a lot of noise, but Coach Brown said we got to lean into this concept of full benefit. It's a Navy SEAL term, so what are you going to do with adversity? He said you got to drown out the noise, you got to lean into your business, you got to do things right. Look, business hasn't been good, but you got to let that negativity go. Don't let it break you. Do your business, because every adversity, there's an opportunity. Let's see how these guys respond.
Green and White in the backfield. Over the middle, the slant to Hudson Clement. Clement cross midfield. And finally dragged down at the 40 by Mello Dotson, but not before a 39-yard pickup by West Virginia.
Yeah, run pass option, and they hurry to the line of scrimmage. And you see that linebacker comes up, and there's a big hole right behind him at the line of scrimmage now.
Two tight ends for the Mountaineers. And both will shift. Green again, play fake, throwing, again over the middle, and again it's complete. And that's Clement again, and he's brought down at the 1. Another 39-yard pickup.
We talked about his accuracy being an issue and that he has a tendency to throw the outside. They've changed that tendency, and they rush to the line of scrimmage.
And it's White. And the second effort, and it's scored. West Virginia on the board first. Third touchdown of the season for the sophomore out of Pennsylvania, Jayhawks White.
That second effort wasn't so much a second effort as it was a push from his quarterback. Lean on me. Garrett Green delivering the big push to get White into the end zone. So that was Green's drive. A couple of nice throws showing his accuracy is back, and then the final push to get White into the end zone.
We're going to take another look. Score is good. Michael Hayes here for the extra point. And it's 7-0. How about the Mountaineers? 3 plays, 78 yards. They do it in a minute 10.
How about Garrett Green? That's his drive. This is the guy who has struggled with accuracy. Nothing wrong with his accuracy here, giving the Grim Reaper everything he needs. Hudson Clement, the way to get down to the 1.
This season, he had just 4 in 12 games. Last season, West Virginia up 7-0. Michael Hayes kicking things away. Trevor Wilson back deep for Kansas. From his own 1. Took a lick, and he's dropped at the 18. Let's get a quick check of what's going on. To the studio, my main man, Kevin Connors.
He cussed Rod, 7 total touchdowns for Cade Klubnik a week ago. Trevor Maddich, he's already at it again today.
The big play has been largely absent from the Clemson offense for several years. A couple weeks ago against App State, they got a lot of them, and they're continuing that today. They like this.
He just threw a 31-yard touchdown as well as 14-zip. Meantime, James Madison 3-0 lead on North Carolina when Terrence Spence blocks the punt. Jaden Mines the scoop and score. Brian, it's 11-0 Dukes.
How about that? Devin Neal just got the carry here. Picks up 3 over that right side. 7-0 our score. 5 minutes to the second quarter. Talk to me about what you want to see out of this Kansas offense here.
Well, I still think they got to get Daniels right. Now, when he runs the ball, he runs with a lot of swagger, and I think that's going to be a real key for opening up the passing game for him. He's got to have that confidence back.
And he's going to run it here. The option, pitches it to Neal. To the outside. And Neal's got a first down. And, you know, one of the things that Coach Leipold talked to us about on the field before the game is, he said, I want to start fast. More importantly, I want to see how we respond when adversity hits us.
Well, they got some adversity. Down 7-0, and they really haven't moved the ball. Great execution on that option, and that's going to be the challenge for West Virginia. But you do want to get the ball out of Daniels' hands. You'd rather see him pitch it than have him turn that ball upfield.
Play fake. Daniels under pressure. Rolls. Throws. And let's see if they say complete. Yes, it's a catch. Luke Grimm, the Grim Reaper, making the catch across midfield.
In real time, that's called a catch. We'll see if they take a closer look. Hard to see in real time up from our distance.
Well, Kansas wants to go with tempo.
Yeah.
They don't want them to take another look.
Smart, very smart.
And now they'll call for another look from up top.
Yeah, and remember, on replay, you need to have really kind of clear evidence to overturn the call on the field. And if it's in doubt, the call's got to stand. See, the right knee is in bounds. Looks like he's got control.
And it's a catch.
Well, it's hard to see anything clearly saying it's not a catch. That is, it's a pretty good look at it.
So far, Jaylen Daniels, perfect 3 for 3.
There was a touchdown available on that play, except for the pressure. They had a receiver running free down the field.
Daniels. Rolling. Avoids the rush, gets hit, and gets that one to Lawrence Arnold.
I'll tell you right now, the issue for Kansas is protecting the quarterback. This is the second play in a row that Daniels had a receiver running free down the field, but he didn't have time to get the ball out. And 2 straight plays, and he takes a real hit here. It's kind of a little whop, whop, whop.
More shifting. Daniel Highshaw behind Daniels. And it's Highshaw who gets to carry. Give him 1.
You know, if I'm...
Let's go down to the field. Here's Lawrence Sisler.
Hey, Brian, you talk about the 3 keys Leipold told us before the game. You know, he was candid with us this week talking about what this team needed to get it done. And he said, look, we're going from the hunted to now the hunters now being the hunted, and really they just haven't handled their business and have not adjusted well to that adversity. And he said he wants to give the team confidence, not to get complacent. He doesn't think they're complacent. They're just not matching the intensity of their opponents right now.
Well, you look at it, Lauren, they win 9 games, a lot of expectations going into the season. And there's an interception. Another one by Daniels. This one, Tyron Bradley comes up with it. The 7th interception on the season by Jaylen Daniels.
Well, we've talked about Daniels' confidence, lack of confidence, and his problem throwing the football right now. And it's the same issue we've seen for 3 weeks in a row. He is staring down receivers, and he doesn't see the underneath coverage. And you know what? When you play zone coverage, all you do is look at the quarterback's eyes. And he is taking you right to the football. He is taking the defender right there. He doesn't see the underneath coverage. That looks exactly like the picks he threw last week.
Jaylen Daniels now has 8 turnovers on this season. That is the 2nd most in the nation. More adversity here for Kansas, and let's see how the Jayhawks respond. 1st and 10 for the Mountaineers from their own 43. And here is C.J. Donaldson. Donaldson across midfield. Donaldson brought down at the 30. Devin Dye makes the stop.
You know, because when you run that stretch play, you put that defensive line on skates. They're moving. Easier to block them and create lanes. And Donaldson, at 240 pounds approximately, runs like he's about 200 pounds. He showed some acceleration there.
27-yard pickup. He's their leading rusher so far this season. That one batted and nearly interception by the Kansas Jayhawks.
Yeah, you know, Garrett Green is only about 5'11". All week long, Kansas talked about getting hands up when you don't get to him. You get those hands up, you get a chance to knock that ball down.
Second down, less than a minute left in the quarter. Here's CJ over that right side. And Donaldson falls forward to the 25.
It's a good third down matchup here. I would expect West Virginia to stay away from these two corners. Mello Dotson, Kobe Bryant, Kobe and Mello. These guys they're playmakers. I mean, you throw the ball out there, they're hunting the football. They may not be technically sound all the time because they tend to, try to jump routes. They try to guess a little bit. But if you make a mistake in their area, they're going to pick it off. Well, and they've taken a number of them back to the house.
They have combined 17 interceptions over their careers. That's tied for the most among any returning Power 4 corner duo in the country. As Donaldson swallowed up by DJ Withers in the Jayhawks.
Interesting call there, because normally that kind of a call tells you that they're looking at going for it on fourth down.
Well, we played one here in Morgantown, and it's the Mountaineers 7, Jayhawks nothing. 7-0. Our score here in Morgantown. Both teams at 1-2. It's the conference opener. As we begin the second quarter, and West Virginia is going to go for it here on fourth down, looking at 4th and 5.
The interesting thing is that normally after a takeaway, you want to make sure you get points so that it's costly. If Kansas gets a stop, they get out cheap.
West Virginia, 9 fourth down conversions. That's the best in the country. Green rolling. He's going to keep it, and he's got himself a first down.
He is the best running back West Virginia has had in a while. You think about, well, nobody compares to Pat White. Don't forget about Major Harris, Rasheed Marshall. Kind of a tradition of quarterbacks who can do it both ways, and this man is tough as nails.
Well, he's going to have to come out for one play because his helmet came off, so that means Nico Marchio, the redshirt sophomore, he's a lefty, will have to come in for a play. Oh, lost the football, but falls back on it. That was almost a disaster.
Yeah, and here comes Garrett Green.
Real quick.
Yeah. Couldn't get him in there fast enough. I mean, this is just nerves. He wasn't expecting to be in there. That's a catchable ball. His eyes immediately went to the edge where he thought he was going to be heading. Lost it. It's a good area to use your running backs. Let's see how they handle it down here.
Well, C.J. Donaldson is in that backfield. Green, play fake, throws, and that's intercepted by the Mamba, Kobe Bryant.
Did we not warn them? Did we not warn them that if you're going to test this defense, it's not these two corners. You cannot play this slant any better than what you saw by Bryant. Mamba, excuse me. I mean, he told us before the game, call me Mamba, and he's showing you that Mamba mentality. This is a slant, and he fights his way to the inside. Time and time again, we talk about corners needing to keep the receiver from getting inside when you're in the red zone. That is textbook right there.
Turning over the football is something both of these teams have struggled with this season. There's Jaylen Daniels, threw an interception on their last possession. That's Devin Neal. Let's go down to the field. Here's Lauren with the Kansas head coach.
Coach, you talked about a strong start and responding well to adversity. What have you seen so far in the first quarter, and how do you get this one back?
Well, defensively came out and made that stop early, but then they, we didn't generate anything. We got to protect Jaylen a little bit more. Getting too much leakage right now. They're playing downhill better than we're reacting to that right now. We've had success in the run game. We're going to settle down. We'll get it going.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Here's Neal. That's a first down. Tyron Bradley makes the stop. 9-yard pickup for Kansas.
That stretch play by Jeff Grimes, the coordinator. It is so much easier for your offensive line to block defensive linemen when they are on the move like that. When they are straight in front of you, you have to be stronger to root them out. You get them moving, your offensive linemen can just push them like they're on skates.
Got an injured Mountaineer on the field. As they tend to him, will step aside. 13 minutes until the half, 7-0 West Virginia. Oh, how about James Madison? Right now, West Virginia up, but the West Virginia just lost their best defensive player. Josiah Trotter was the guy who needed some help off the field. This is Devin Neal, who's got a first down for Kansas. Trotter, the redshirt freshman out of Philly, and yes, he's the son of Jeremiah Trotter, who played for the Eagles.
Yeah, this is a big loss if he's unable to come back in this ball game. You see what looks like a lower leg injury.
Watch when he plants.
Yeah, he plants, and that's not good. But he is a big part of this defense.
Being looked at in the tent as we speak. 1st and 10 for Kansas from their own 40. Daniels will go to the air again. Flushed out of the pocket. Rolls left. Throws. Incomplete.
He's not getting any time. You heard the discussion about that earlier from Lance Leipold. But whether it's a blitz or a missed assignment, they're on him. And the problem for Kansas is they have receivers open. But this does nothing for the confidence of this quarterback. He was already shaky coming into this game. He's thrown a pick, and now he feels like he's got no protection. That's not a good recipe when you're trying to get him right.
4 of 6, 46 yards through the air for Jaylen Daniels. You look at Lance Leipold. Here's Devin Neal right up the gut. Listen, keep running him.
Well, exactly. You know what's going on right now is that West Virginia is so concerned about the back end. They're playing 2 safeties high. They're protecting their corners, and they're looking at it going, well, you're inviting us to run the football. We will run the football. We've got a tight end in the game. We'll come right at you. If you want to protect the back end, we're going to run it at you.
2 tight ends for the Jayhawks.
And they're still showing the same sort of defense. Protect the corners, keep the safeties back.
To the outside, Luke Grimm. Grimm breaks a tackle and skips out of bounds at the 32.
He got by Garnett Hollis, who was one of the starters we placed this week, but back in the ball game now. And again, if Kansas can get any kind of time for Daniels, there's some opportunities in the passing game.
17-yard pickup. Grimm's got 2 catches, 39 yards receiving.
You see the 2 safeties deep back there.
Here's Highshaw.
Yeah, you know, this is a clinic right now in how you attack a 2-high safety look. You've got an extra tight end. They have more blockers than there are defenders right now. And so they are just pounding the ball inside, and they are daring West Virginia to change what they're doing on the back end. I mean, the left side, strong side, huge opening.
A lot of shifting. Highshaw gets the carry, breaks the tackle.
There's that man again.
Turns nothing into something. TJ Jackson had him.
He's that man off the edge. You had the sack earlier. And now you've got another 3rd down. This is, again, maybe a 2-down territory with 3rd and short if you don't pick it up here.
One of 2 on 3rd down Kansas has been thus far. 3rd and 3 from the West Virginia 25. And they give it to Highshaw, and he pounds his way for a 1st down.
Well, I mean, you're seeing it. I mean, great double team blocking inside. And again, you know, with those 2 high safeties, you've got an extra blocking advantage, and West Virginia won't come out of it. I don't blame them, but at some point, they're going to have to challenge with a little bit of man coverage and bring a safety down to sort of even the numbers.
This is the 10th play of this drive coming up. So far, Kansas has gone 61 yards here.
2 tight ends.
Daniels throwing too high. Oh my goodness. He was looking at Trevor Cardell and oof, he took a hit by Garnett Hollis, who I think is still down.
Yeah, and he's reaching for his left leg. And Daniels, not quite himself. Still, he had a guy down the middle of the field he didn't see. And I think it's the landing. Yeah, he landed on that leg sort of awkwardly.
Hollis is a senior. He transferred in from Northwestern. He's out of Nashville. They consider him probably, even with the secondary issues they've had, their best cover corner.
Yeah, they really can't afford to have him go down. And they're trying to get the back end settled, and Trotter, you know, the linebacker, is already out. Hopefully he's getting back on the field. Looks like he's back on the field now.
Let's get an update on Trotter. Let's go down the field. Here's Lauren.
Yeah, Trotter came out of the tent. He's got a knee brace now on his left leg. He was over here running and cutting, trying to get him ready to go. He looks anxious to get back out on the football field. Helmet's on. He's out on the field waiting.
And you can see Hollis getting some help off the field. And you can see there Trotter trying to work it out with that brace now on that left leg.
Well, if I'm Kansas, I want to test his mobility, his lateral movement. This is a team that loves to run the option and to run that stretch play or that outside zone. Let's see if Trotter can move and get in position on those plays.
See Josiah is back out on the field. That's good for West Virginia. Daniels. Looks like they were trying to run the option, and West Virginia not having it. Talking about play the edge. Asani Redwood, great job there, and a stop.
Yeah, and Trey Lathan also really did a great job of taking away a running lane for Daniels on that. And now you've got a 3rd and long, and this is the dangerous territory. Again, you want to protect Daniels. He's already thrown a pick. He's had trouble throwing the ball over the middle. Keep him out of the middle unless it's an RPO.
There's a loss of 3. 3rd and 13. Daniels, plenty of time, throwing, and that one's complete to Quentin Skinner. It'll be 1st down, Kansas. Oh, no, now say incomplete now.
You had it right. There were 2 officials with different calls.
Yeah.
The one who was closest to the line of scrimmage said catch. The one who was near the end zone said no catch.
And they're going to go no catch.
Yeah, he said, man, I called it in. I called it out. I said, well, I think I got this.
Right.
I got this.
Let's take another look.
Oh,
that's close.
That is close. That right leg from this initial look looked like the right foot was down. And he kept
on the field
left
is an incomplete pass.
Yeah, that left foot doesn't hit out of bounds until much later. Right foot down, control of the ball.
That's close.
That is very close. Remember, you need really essentially clear evidence to overturn the call on the field. I'm not sure if that is clear. We'll see what the officials have to say about it.
Here's a different look. So the
right foot down,
in,
control,
catch, got the toes in.
Yeah.
I think you may have to overturn that one.
And we'll see what they say.
Quentin Skinner,
replay booth.
He's the senior. Remember 2 years ago when, Kansas won here in Morgantown, he was the guy who had the touchdown catch that forced the game into overtime.
Yeah, he's a big target, too. At 6'5", 195. Great radius, and he needed every bit of those long arms on that play. And here, the other thing. You see that throw? That was a confident throw by Daniels to the outside of the field. Keep him away from the middle of the field where he's not seeing the underneath coverage. He can see well to the outside, and there's very little risk with a throw like this. Worst thing you can do right now if you're Kansas is ask Daniels to make another difficult throw over the middle where he's not seeing things clearly and have another pick.
After further review, the receiver did have a foot in bounds and completed the catch. It'll be first down and 10 from the 11-yard line.
Go ahead, because tell him.
I was right. I mean, look.
You told him so.
Toes was there. Had control of the ball.
I like to wait. You like to go ahead and get. I'm all right with that.
I'm going to get out in front of it.
That right foot.
So you see that back official saying no catch, but the official in front saying that's a catch.
Yeah.
Saying, wait, no, I got a catch here.
Wait till they talk about that one after the game.
Right, exactly. So first and 10 now. And it's Neal. Neal, touchdown. Rock, chalk, Jayhawk. They're on the board.
And Neal gets the credit, but man, that left side of the line, Cabledew and Ford, left tackle and left guard, tremendous double team. Neal read it perfectly, found the hole, just a tremendous job. Just watch the left side of the line. Watch the way they double and they push everything down inside, and then you've got your tight end coming across. Huge, huge hole. Good low center of gravity, Devin Neal. You see why he's such a great runner.
And Tabor Allen with the extra point. And how about Kansas? 13 plays, over 6 minutes, 7 first downs on this drive. Capped it off with Devin Neal for 6. And we're all tied up at 7 here in Morgantown with Braylon Ray back deep for the Mountaineers. Kansas now have made 12 red zone trips, and they've scored 12 times. Only team in the Big 12 to do that. Here's Ray. Dropped at the 14. You know I'm from Columbus, right? How's them Buckeyes doing? You know what? My man Kevin Connors, give me an update.
Brian, I think you're going to like it here. After Ohio State allowed their first touchdown of the season, this is Will Howard, 68 yards to Emeka Egbuka.
And this was an answer. In Marshall's opening drive, they ground out a 13-play touchdown drive. This is Ohio State's second play of the game after that long Marshall drive.
Howard has just taken one in, Brian. It's 13-7.
Well, Marshall from West Virginia. Here we got the Mountaineers. Here's Garrett Green. Plenty of time. Over the middle, he's got a man. And that's Hudson Clement.
Yeah, a clear-out run by Ray, number 7, taking all the deep coverage away from that side and waiting for that deep cross-country route to come by Clement, who's having one heck of a day. Did you hear Kevin Connors and Trevor Maddich talk about Stanford winning last night? I'm waiting for it.
I watched Stanford.
I know you did.
Last night.
I'm just waiting for my guys back in the studio to give some love to the Cardinals. That's all.
21-yard pickup for the Mountaineers. They'll keep it on the ground with White. Give him maybe a yard.
Let me take you back to that last series when West Virginia elected to not take the field goal, not take the 3 points, and instead tested Kobe Bryant, and he got a pick. And I'm not sure they remembered the rule. When you get a turnover, you must get points off the turnover to make it count for something.
Here's Green, flushed, rolling, throwing, and that's complete again to Clement. How about Hudson Clement in the day he's having with Garrett Green?
Yeah, he's showing out. He is showing out. In high school, he was the top receiver. He won the Randy Moss Award. because he was such an outstanding high school receiver in West Virginia.
4 catches, 114 yards receiving. We've got an injured Mountaineer. It looks like Wyatt Milam. He's down. He's the left tackle, senior out of West Virginia.
He is part of the left side of that offensive line. That is really the strength of that offensive line.
And they're going to check on Wyatt. We'll take a break. All tied up at 7 here in Morgantown. 7-7 our score. Gary Green, he's 5 of 10. He's thrown for 129, and he's got that 1 interception. Talk to me about, we've talked about his accuracy. What do you see?
Well, you see the 7 attempts in the middle of the field. That's breaking a tendency because normally they throw outside. Clement has been big in the middle, working against the zone, but the one time they threw inside against man coverage, they went after one of the corners, and it cost them when Bryant got a pick.
Here's Jaheim White. Maybe a yard.
So I think what we're seeing West Virginia do is say, look, we know we're going to get a lot of zone coverage. We don't want to test the 2 corners to the outside, so we want to attack the zone in the middle of the field and break a tendency. Now, the one time they went at one of the corners, it was in man coverage, and it cost them with a pick. So they have to be aware of when that switch is coming in the red zone.
Green will go to the air, looked for the screen, but that was all broken up. He was throwing at the receiver screen to Traylon Ray, but Jayhawks has snuffed that out.
Yeah, and again, I'm not sure why anything is run to the side where Kobe Bryant is. Whether it's a deep ball or a screen, he is such a savvy player. He figures everything out, and he is a playmaker. He's looking for the football. You're better off working the other side and staying away from the guy with the Mamba mentality.
3rd and 9 coming up here for West Virginia.
There's an administrative stoppage. There's an injury on the sideline.
I mean, if I'm West Virginia, you know, they got the helmets where you can talk to the quarterback. I'm saying, all right, here's the play. Find out where number 2 is in white and go the opposite way.
That's Coach Neil Brown. Great offensive mind. Coach Brown now in his 6th season. Head coach here in West Virginia.
You know, he's heard all the noise and the heat. Said doesn't bother him. He's used to it after having dealt with it last year. A little different when you have kids. A little tough for the family to hear that stuff.
Absolutely. Coach West Virginia to 9 wins last year. Got off the hot seat, but back on it. Green. A lot of time. Now under pressure. He slips out of bounds. Jeremy Robinson.
Really,
the guy who forced him out of bounds.
Yeah, smart play by Cornell Wheeler to hold up and not take a shot at the end.
Interesting decision coming up here for the Mountaineers.
Well, I mean, at this point with this kind of game, remember, you decided to go for it on 4th down. And are you too deep to punt the ball now? Can you really pin them in? We're at the 45-yard line. Are you comfortable with that?
Well, it looked like Oliver Straw, the punter, was going to come on the field.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad at a punt here because that 4th and 10, that's looking pretty difficult. We seem to have a stoppage now.
Let's go down to the field. Lauren, what do we got?
Hey guys, I'm working on getting confirmation. There's a player down on the field here near the bench. They've cleared the benches. They've got him laying on the ground with a neck brace. His teammate told me it was Aubrey Burks. I want to confirm that though. They're loading him onto the stretcher now. It is Aubrey Burks. It looks to be a back injury. They have him in a neck brace right now. We have a stoppage of game to try to clear this up. He looked to be in a lot of pain and really struggling to move some of his extremities, but they were just being cautious putting the neck brace on him, lifting him onto the stretcher now.
Well, Lauren, if you're saying it, if it's Aubrey Burks, that's a young man who plays what they call the spear position of their secondary, a senior out of Florida, and
it is confirmed, yes, Aubrey Burks.
He is one of the captains of this defense. As a guy, he's played in 32 career games, 26 starts, and one of the leaders on the back end for West Virginia.
Yeah, that spear position is essentially the 5th defensive back, a nickel position that they move around. And we didn't see any injury to him on the field during the play. There was no game stoppage with him going down on the field. So presumably something happened during the play and he made his way off the field and still was feeling the effects.
And they're taking Aubrey on the stretcher.
And look, anytime as a player you see a teammate go off the field on a stretcher, it brings you back to reality and it takes your focus off the game. The question is, how quickly can you regain your focus? Because you can't just watch a teammate leave. I've had that experience. And when you watch a teammate go off the field, you are concerned about him and you're concerned about his family. And it takes you a moment or a couple plays before your focus comes back into the game at hand.
So Oliver Straw will come in and punt things away. Trevor Wilson standing back at his own 7. And the Mountaineers do a great job of covering it. It'll be down at the 4. And it looks like T.J. Crandall, who's in that punt coverage, who is down. Watch this collision between Aiden Garnes and T.J. Crandall.
And both of those guys are corners who have played a lot today. And
Crandall,
on the punt return team.
Basically got promoted this game because of the bad play of the other corners the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, he is a transfer from Colorado State. His uncle is Nate Robinson, the undersized slam dunk champion of NBA days. Yeah, a couple times. And a second uncle, Xavier McDaniel, NBA All-Star for a number of years. So he's got a lot of good genes in his family.
Some athletic genes. Tied up at 7 here. You notice we've had no penalties so far in this first half. As the good sign there is Crandall's walking off under his own power.
These are two normally well-coached, disciplined teams, and they both had issues with penalties last week. West Virginia was completely out of control at times, as was Kansas.
This trend continues. This would be the first time this season there are 0 penalties accepted in the first half.
How do you feel about the way Daniels is playing?
I think you're encouraged if you're Kansas because he's played better than what you've seen the past few weeks.
Except for that one pick.
Yes. So from their own 4, 2 tight ends for the Jayhawks. 4 minutes until the half. You go to Devin Neal. Across the 5.
How about what Leipold said about Devin Neal and Jalen Daniels? He said, they should have lifetime jobs at Kansas for what they've done, not only for the football program, but the way they've represented the university. Remember, the program was considered kind of a laughing stock for, 15, 20 years until this turnaround the last few years.
Neal again. You know, all 4 of Kansas's drives, offensive series, have started inside their own 20. 2 of them inside their own 10, just like this one.
Let's see how they handle this 3rd down. Do they continue to run and try and wedge it out?
Here's the interesting thing. Keep in mind, Kansas won the toss, defers, so they will get the football to begin the second half. 3rd and 5. Jayhawks 3 of 4 on 3rd down. Daniels to the air. Grimm, 1st down. They'll move to sticks.
Soft coverage on the outside by the corners. Just a stop route. A little too soft on a 3rd down. If you're a corner out there, you know the situation. You can't give that much ground. Look how much room is given. And nice job by Grimm finding the hole.
.230 until the half. Play fake to Neal. Daniels steps up, under pressure, throws it away. That was Ty French applying that pressure to Jaylen Daniels.
Was out of the pocket. Ball made it back to the line of scrimmage.
And it's the same story. He doesn't have any protection. If he gets a little bit more time, he's got guys down the field.
Let's go down to the field. Lauren, what do you have for us about Burks? Anything new?
Yeah, quick update here. So they put him on the stretcher, wheeled him off the field there to the back parking lot, put him into the ambulance, and he'll be going to Ruby Memorial, which is right across the parking lot here, to be evaluated.
Hopefully everything checks out for that young man. Here's Neal again. Neal breaks through. There's a flag. He's brought down at the 35. First time we've seen that.
Yeah, it's coming back.
Holding, offense, half the distance to the goal, repeat 2nd down. This will take us to the 2-minute timeout.
Yep. First penalty of the game, and we've hit the 2-minute timeout. And we are all tied up at 7. It's the Big 12 Conference opener. Kansas, West Virginia, be right.
Coming up when you join us, Brian and Rod, at the half.
Okay, Kev, looking forward to that. 2nd and 19. Here's Neal.
Here's your clock management issue for Kansas. We've got a long way to go.
Timeout,
3rd
West
and 15.
Virginia. Clock operator,
you want to make sure you run
150.
clock, and a smart timeout call here by West Virginia.
Got 3 of them, so now 2.
Yeah. You got plenty of time on the clock if you can get off the field on this 3rd down.
Hey, coming up later on ABC, 16th ranked LSU, UCLA. Then at 7:30, you got Tennessee taking on 15th ranked Oklahoma. You can always watch them on ESPN Plus.
That is a new environment for UCLA.
Isn't that something?
A long travel across country, and if you haven't been to LSU at night, ooh,
nothing like Death Valley like that.
That is a whole different animal.
You're right. Great atmosphere.
Yeah.
Third down, 15 from their own 14. Kansas is 4 of 5 on 3rd down. 3 for 3 in this quarter. Daniels will throw it. And he's going to throw to the outside, incomplete. And I'll tell you what, had that corner, Jacoby Spells, broke sooner on that football, that could have been a turnover.
Yeah, and that ball was thrown too far inside. If that ball is to the outside, then Grimm has the chance to make a catch on this play. I mean, the corner is laying inside, so the ball has to be thrown to the outside. it's not outside far enough. That's go to out of bounds or to your guy. You see he is staring down his receiver. He sees what he's got there. But again, that ball is too far inside.
Graves will punt things away, but another flag. We had some flawless play until the past minute.
False start. Offense number 1. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Back them up some more, and for West Virginia, listen, got an opportunity to get some great field position, get a score in before the half.
Yeah, exactly. And you've got plenty of time and timeouts.
Yeah, as I was saying, 2 timeouts in your pocket. And Rodney Gallagher from midfield to the 40 and brought down at the 32-yard line. 18-yard return, 41-yard punt. And if you're West Virginia, this is fantastic field position for you.
Yeah, you can be deliberate here. You can take your time. You're essentially in field goal range right now. You've got 2 timeouts. You can manage the clock. You can burn it. This is what you need.
Go down to the field. Here's Lawrence Sisler.
Guys, we've had a slew of injuries. An update here for left tackle Wyatt Millum. He was helped off the field into the tent. His right cleat came off. He walked into the locker room. He's back out there. Got his knee braces back on and his ankles taped.
Here's Gallagher in the end around. He's tripped up at the 28.
As Chad Scott, the offensive coordinator, going with perimeter runs, expecting the corners to be occupied and forcing the safeties and linebackers to flow to the ball.
Green throwing the slant. Nothing happening there.
Yeah, these corners, you know.
Melo's like, nah.
Nah, you know, they don't play man an awful lot, but they do when they get near the red zone. And these guys they're jumping all over these slants, and they're so good at it. You have to be careful. They're so good at it. They'll pick it off and take it the other way. And just laying outside and reads this well. Excellent.
3rd and 4.
Dynamic play by these 2 corners.
Green, there's a slant, and that one's complete. Hudson Clement.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a rub play in the sense that your corner gets rubbed off by his own linebacker. Now watch what happens here. There's this play here, a little bit of a distraction because you had that happening.
There's another one batted at the line of scrimmage.
Plenty of time.
DJ Withers got that big paw up.
Plenty of time for Garrett Green. He has to be aware of the situation. Has to know he's got a field goal in his back pocket. No need to take an unnecessary risk down here. And by unnecessary risk, I mean middle of the field where it's dark and full of terrors.
Green going to keep it right up the middle. Garrett Green to the outside. Dives for the end zone. And a flag has come out.
Holding. Offense number 50. 10-yard penalty. Replay 2nd down.
That's on the center, Brandon Yates.
A little premature with that cannon. I mean, that cannon went off immediately. You got the fans all riled up. The flag was clearly out there. Watch the middle field to center 50. That's Yates. Yeah. How about I tackle you? Let me just grab you and tackle you. And you know what? It wasn't even necessary.
Second and 14. Green throwing for the end zone, and Gallagher and overshoots him. Rodney Gallagher is a guy who will play in the slot receiver, but he plays both ways. He'll also play corner for you as well. But they're going to keep him on the offensive side of the football for this game.
Yeah, makes sense. Although, given the number of injuries,
he may have to play.
He may have to play some defensive back. Interesting situation here. You have a field goal in your back pocket. Have to be careful with the football. You're likely to get a lot of zone coverage, eyes on the quarterback. So Garrett Green has to be smart with the ball here.
And Coach Brown wants to talk about it.
Second charge timeout, West Virginia. 30 seconds.
Good timeout to remind your quarterback about the situation, the risk. Don't take an unnecessary risk, and to go from there.
Great crowd here at Milan Puskar Stadium. And listen, there's the Taco Bell Live Ma student section. And all season long, you got student sections across the country competing to be the Taco Bell Live Ma student section of the year. You can download the Taco Bell app and get all the details. Mountaineers looking at 3rd down and 14.
You know who hasn't caught a ball yet for West Virginia?
How about the tight end, though?
Yeah, Cole Taylor. All 6'7" of them.
Big target. He's Garrett Green's roommate.
Yep.
One of his favorite targets on the season, and he's already got a touchdown catch.
This is usually his area of the field. And he's a guy that gives you a big target and kind of a safe target for you to look for down here.
And Green will throw it. Pressure. And that's caught by Traylon Ray.
Wow, I think Garrett Green's confidence has really grown. That was a tremendous throw on a post route.
40 seconds left. 1st and goal from the 5.
Plenty of time.
Green throwing, now keeping it. Green, touchdown, West Virginia. Did they throw? Let's see.
Holding, defense number 2. The penalties decline. Touchdown.
That one's on Kansas. Put the points on the board.
Did Garrett Green look like a fullback on that play or what?
Garrett Green looked like a ball player spinning off of those guys.
You're too small to knock me down with that cheap tackle.
Yeah. O.J. Burrows tried to deliver the lick, and Garrett Green spun right off of that.
He tried to throw a shoulder without wrapping up, and Garrett Green was having none of it.
An extra point here by Michael Hayes. Mountaineers take a 7-point lead.
He's grown out the hair that he cut off in the offseason to keep mom happy. He's growing it now, and we're seeing him grow in this game right before us. You are too small to try and take me down with a shoulder tackle. I mean, this is decisive, and I am having none of that. None of it. A run for a touchdown, and then you see his receiver at the bottom of the screen with a nice working inside. Doesn't have to worry about a safety getting to him, and a perfect throw. We talked about accuracy coming into this game, and Garrett Green's accuracy has grown from the beginning of this game to right now.
You know, West Virginia, they've been in Kansas territory, for 23 plays. Conversely, Kansas has been in West Virginia territory for just 10. And it's the Mountaineers with a 7-point lead here with 25 seconds left until the half. And if you're Kansas, will you just sit on this one basically? Hey, you get the football to begin the second half?
I think that's what you should do here, given the issues that they've had protecting, Daniels. I mean, you could try and hurry up and do something, but there's the risk that you could have a sack and the ball on the ground.
See what Daniels has done, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're going to head to the locker room. Well, we've played a half here in Morgantown. Conference opener. Both of these squads at 1 and 2, both have talked about the sense of urgency to get a victory. You can see what the QBs have done. Garrett Green, 1 touchdown, 1 turnover. Jaylen Daniels with 1 turnover. Our score here from Morgantown, 14-7 West Virginia. Kevin Connors, Trevor Maddich now for the Voya halftime report.
Brian, like a good old-fashioned.
Virginia the lead, 14-7 is our score here in Morgantown as we begin the second half. This is the Big 12 on ESPN. And it's the Jayhawks who will start this second half with the football. And West Virginia dominated that first half, not only with field position, time of possession, but number of plays in their opponent's territory. They dominated that. Kansas needs to flip the script here in the second half.
Well, keep in mind, both these teams, season opener, are trying to get back on track and be a factor in the Big 12 race. And, you know, you talked about West Virginia. What West Virginia did in the first half was they got some big plays. They got 4 plays of 20 yards or more. Kansas didn't get that. Kansas had 1 big play. Kansas really needs to get their offense on track, and Jaylen Daniels has to become a factor in this game, and he hasn't been yet. You know, the passing, they've done a good job of keeping him out of the middle of the field. He's got 1 pick. That's the danger zone in the middle of the field. But he hasn't been a factor in the running game, and he is a big part of that. So they've got to find a way to turn him loose.
Daniels will start the second half to the outside. And that's complete to Quentin Skinner.
And as long as West Virginia is going to play off coverage and give you that easy throw, Kansas has to take advantage of it. That's one way to get Jaylen Daniels going.
Jayhawks will be looking at 2nd and 2. From their own 33. Jared Casey in motion, the tight end. Daniels again just flips it to Casey, the tight end, and he's down at midfield. Simple throws, but effective, Rob.
Yep. He's still not getting great protection, but he's getting the ball out. And even Casey getting involved. You remember him from his LSU days. You see the pressure again, but getting the ball out quickly and letting somebody else do the work. In this case, it was Jared Casey.
2 tight ends here for the Jayhawks. You go back to O Reliable. That's Devin Neal. Trey Lathan trips him up, but they're in West Virginia territory.
West Virginia lost so many players on their defense in the first half. They actually, you see 2 corners that were lost in the first half, a linebacker and also a safety. So they're a little bit thin on the back end.
Burks was taken off on a stretcher and taken to the hospital to be checked out. Daniels again will throw. The referee goes down, and Daniels has got room to run. Lathan forces him out of bounds.
Yeah, he had nowhere to go with the ball. He was looking deep down the field, but West Virginia managed to have double coverage on the deep receiver he wanted and had nowhere else to go. And we lose an official.
Watch the ref up top here.
Now,
Turf monster, get you, man. I'm telling you.
Backpedaling is not as easy as you think sometimes, you know?
especially when you get old. Keep it on the ground.
Decision time. You know, the analytics would say you go for it here. You got a 4th down. This is about, what, 2, 3? That looks like 2, yeah.
And they're going to go for it.
Yeah. You find fewer and fewer coaches punting in these situations these days. Used to be you kick it, but with the analytics and the need to score, decision-making has changed in these situations.
First 4th down attempt here for Kansas. They go to Neal. He gets the edge. He's got a 1st down.
Oh, man, did he turn it on to get by Trey Lathan. Lathan came through a gap, and Lathan was there to make a play in the backfield. But a little hezzy, and then the acceleration by Neal just made the difference in the play. Watch what happens. Watch as you see number 4, Lathan, just really come through that open gap, and a little hesitation and turn on the juice, and that's a 1st down.
7-yard pickup. Highshaw is now checked into the backfield for Kansas. And they flip it to Luke Grimm. Grimm got some blocking out in front, cuts back into the inside. Grimm down the sideline and forced out of bounds inside the 10. And a late flag thrown.
Was that Grimm who got pushed late out of bounds?
Yeah, that's where the flag was thrown, too, in the out-of-bounds area, so. It's a 27-yard pickup by Luke Grimm.
Great trickeration, misdirection, everybody.
Okay. There are 2 fouls on the play. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Defense number 3. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Offense number 47. Those fouls offset, 1st down.
Jaheim Joseph of West Virginia and Jared Casey of Kansas.
Yeah, Casey came in to protect his guy. What are you doing pushing my guy late? But, you know, you got all the blue jerseys going left and all the white jerseys on the right side as you look at it from the defensive angle. So misdirection, never saw it coming, and you had a convoy.
So 1st down from the 10 of West Virginia.
A wildcat action.
Little wildcat. Neal. Direct snap to him. And he runs into a blue wall.
And they weren't buying any of it. Ben Cutter, the weak side linebacker, stepped up, took on a lineman, and just snuffed out any possible hole right in the middle there.
And you can see Kevin Marr, our head official here, warning Ty French of West Virginia for a little extra stuff after the play. 5 wide here for the Jayhawks. It's a keep. Daniels brought down at the 7. Nate Gabriel makes the stop.
Yeah, good scouting by West Virginia. They were not buying any of that. 3 receivers to one side. They were expecting quarterback run game down here. And again, these linebackers are filling very well inside. Cutter comes in, and you see Lathan staying home. This is a big 3rd down. You expect right now, you think man coverage on the outside, zone coverage inside. And that would be the way for West Virginia to play it down here because you are afraid of defenders getting knocked off by picks, rubs.
Kansas has 12 trips in the red zone this season. They've scored every time. To the outside, touchdown! Luke Grimm, the Grim Reaper, strikes again. "13 red zone trips, 13 scores by the Kansas Jayhawks this season."
He ran a great route. He got a matchup against a safety, which right away Daniels saw as the mismatch he wanted and just put the ball up to the corner. Let Karim go get it. He does it. And we've talked about the struggles of this West Virginia secondary, and they continue in the second half.
Tabor Allen in for the extra point. And the Jayhawks get the football to begin the second half, and all they do is go 75 yards in 10 plays and did it in a little under 6 minutes thanks to Jaylen Daniels to the Grim Reaper. And we're all tied up at 14 here in Morgantown.
Get it, but I got it. I'm so iconic.
All tied up at 14 here in Morgantown as Jaylen Daniels went perfect on that drive. They went 10 plays, 75 yards to tie things up.
Confidence. I think his confidence grows with that drive. He was perfect with throws to the outside and get the touchdown pass, obviously.
With that drive, Kansas now has more yards on offense than West Virginia. In fact, Kansas has outgained their opponents in every game. They're the only team with multiple losses despite outgaining their opponent in every game. Down to the field, here's Lauren Sisler.
Hey guys, talking to Coach Brown coming out of the locker room, he talked about being confident in the way this team was playing. He liked the way they were playing in the first half, but he said they were getting restricted at the break point, and unfortunately it wasn't being called, so he was a little frustrated about that, but he wants to see Garrett get out here, get some more confidence, but so far he likes to see him getting some plays on his feet right now.
Well, let's see what happens. He scored a touchdown on his feet. He's got Rodney Gallagher in motion. Play fake to Donaldson. He's going to throw over the middle. He's looking for Ray. Ray's got the catch, and Ray's brought down at the 22. A big play as Traylon Ray makes that catch over Kobe Bryant.
Now, we talked about how Kobe Bryant and Mello Dotson are playmakers, but not necessarily technically sound at the corner spot. And you can get by them on a double move or so, and that was a tremendous move to get deep. You see the play action, and maybe a little peeking. You see feet turned around if you're looking real deep there, and he gets inside of Bryant.
52-yard pickup. Two tight ends now for West Virginia. From the Kansas 23. Straight ahead with C.J. Donaldson, Jr.
That is the 5th play for West Virginia over 20 yards, which is about the pace that they want. That is the 5th one out of 35 plays. So that's about on pace for them around the 16%, 17% range.
Second and 8. Coming for the Mountaineers. Donaldson. And he got back to the line of scrimmage and maybe even lost a yard there.
Remember, because starting the game, we talked about, Green staying outside the hashes. That's what he's done. Well, they changed that tendency in this ballgame. And all those big plays, all 5 of them, have been down the middle of the field.
With only the one mistake in that first half, the interception. Third and 9. He's looking at Gallagher, and that's incomplete.
It's a good no call.
He was locked up with Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, a little hand fighting, mutual combat. It's a no call. We talked to the officials before the game about pass interference specifically and the increase in mutual combat and pushing. They're like, hey, nobody gets an advantage. We're not flagging that.
So Michael Hayes has come in for this field goal attempt. Been perfect so far this season. This is from 40 yards out. 32 of 36 inside 50. And he's good. Mountaineers now 3-point lead. 7 minutes left here in the third. West Virginia on top of Kansas. 17-14 is our score here in Morgantown. We had a scary moment in the first half. Audrey Burks was carted off, taken to the hospital. Let's go down to the field. Lauren Sisler with an update.
Yeah, Brian, it's interesting because after that play, he came off the field, everything seemed fine, and he was on the sidelines, and then suddenly something wasn't right, something didn't feel right, and they put him in a neck brace. He was laying here on the sidelines, carted off the field, and the good news is, though, Coach Brown did say that he never lost feeling in his extremities. He's currently being evaluated right up the road here at Ruby Memorial Hospital, so we'll have updates later on.
All right, thank you, and that's great news. The secondary has been an issue for West Virginia this season, and now it's been compounded by a number of injuries they've already had today. Burks, Crandall, just to name a couple. Kansas will start from their own 25. They went 75 yards the last time they had the football and scored a touchdown.
Part of that was a big, run series, a nice little trickeration play to get them down inside the red zone. Daniels' confidence grew that last series, 3 completions in 3 attempts and a touchdown pass.
Daniels is 10 of 15 for 118 through the air. To the outside in Luke Grimm.
That's easy. West Virginia, again, the free access, the easy throw on first down. Trouble in your secondary. They are playing off early. Look at that cushion. That's an easy pickup of 8, 10 yards, 7 yards.
And if they're going to give you
Take
that,
it.
well, I was going to say, why not just be methodical and do it?
Can't go broke taking a profit.
I love it. I love it. You ain't said nothing slick to a can of oil.
I'm telling you, man.
First down. We'll call it 2nd and 3. That was a broken play. That goes right. And Daniels is still running. How about that?
That's what he can do. He makes something out of nothing, and that's his best run of the day.
21 yards on a broken play.
Yeah, this is supposed to be a counter. At least, Hollis thought he was supposed to get the ball.
Yeah, Daniel Highshaw's like, yo,
yeah.
Give it to me.
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing?
He's like, wait.
It's supposed to go to the right side. What are you doing?
But they're in West Virginia territory. This time it is Highshaw. And that's why you give it to him. Highshaw down the sideline and forced out of bounds by Wilson.
Oh, man, that work on the left side by that offensive line, that was a huge hold for Daniel Highshaw, who missed last week. And they're glad to have him back. And just watch the left side. Watch the left tackle and the left guard. Kick out, and then a seal inside by the center, Bryce Foster. That opens a huge hole. Kick out, seal down, wide open.
32 yards. Highshaw remains in the backfield and gets the call again. This time over the right side. He's brought down at the 11.
We talked about this in the first half about West Virginia keeping both their safeties back and being content to be a bend but don't break and not bringing an extra man into the box to deal with the running game. And they're having issues again. And there's another West Virginia defender down.
Sean Martin. Well, they just made an announcement here at the stadium that there is storms and possibly lightning about 30 miles away from this area. And they're just giving the crowd a warning.
A courtesy warning, say it ain't so.
Yeah, really. We tell them to seek shelter, especially if you have issues or a little bit older and need extra time.
In other words, we need to get this game moving.
Yeah, you're right.
We want to resolve the issue of Sean Martin's injury on the field. He's up and walking. That's great.
Keep in mind, West Virginia, when they played Penn State in that season opener, had that lengthy delay.
Yep.
So the Jayhawks are looking at 2nd and 6.
Last time they were down here, they used the width of the field to get Grimm isolated on a safety and ran into the corner. An easy touchdown pass. Let's see how they play it this time. Same matchup, bottom of the screen.
Kansas has been perfect when they get in the red zone, and they stay perfect with Highshaw.
Wow.
14 for 14 in the red zone are the Kansas Jayhawks this season.
And Jared Casey, the tight end, number 47, comes through, makes the key block inside to open up the hole for a high shot. And you see the motion. There is the cut block by Casey. It is hard, impossible to make a tackle when you're on the ground.
You see how that thing opened up?
Oh, his block was critical back to that.
Tabor Allen, the senior out of Mansfield, Texas, with the extra point. Kansas, 2 possessions here in the second half, 2 touchdowns, and they take the lead 21-17 here in the third quarter. Wind had picked up here in Morgantown, but it's 21-17. Kansas just went 75 yards. 5 plays to take the lead. They've already made an announcement. A storm and possible lightning about 30 miles away.
It's getting darker here and windier.
Let's go all access with the head coach of the Mountaineers, Neil Brown.
Hey, they got me mic'd up, so don't tell me the truth. Let's go. Be engaged, man. Let's go. Locked in, pad level, run on your feet, exaggerate the catch, tuck it away, right? Yep. Let's go. Be ready to locked in. If it feels like it's in the air a long time, it is in the air a long time. You understand what I'm saying? Go. Play fast, eh? Play fast. Do your job, all right? Do your job. Let's go. Do your job. Be ready to go, Garrett. You hear me? Be ready to roll.
Let's see if the Mountaineers are ready to roll here. And there is Garrett Green. Another big pickup for the Mountaineers.
The surprising thing is the way he is breaking tackles. He's running through arm tackles. He ran through a shoulder tackle in the first half for a touchdown. But that is the part that is somewhat surprising. Running through arm tackles, even kind of running through that tackle at the end.
24-yard pickup for Garrett Green, who's now run for 42. Fakes it to White. He's going to throw it. Takes a hit, and it's picked off by Mello Dotson. J.B. Brown, the hardest hitter on that Kansas defense, delivered the lick.
Rolling on the field is an
throw was
interception.
short.
First down.
And now Kobe and Mello have both gotten a pick.
Yeah, and if the ball is in their area, they're going to go up and make a play on it. They are both playmakers. But J.B. Brown made that play with the hit on Green. And this kept Green from getting anything on the ball. And there he is, highest point. And these two corners, Kobe Bryant and Mello Dotson, both have picks. Both came into this game as 2 of the better corners in college football, and they've been showing why.
Second pick of the season for Mello. First for Bryant. They combined last season for 8, most that KU cornerback duos had since 2007, Aqib Talib and Justin Thornton. As Neil gets to carry.
Aqib Talib, man, great college career. and just as great, if not better, NFL career.
Absolutely, and will snatch your chain.
So through Tim Brown? Took Tim Brown's chain?
It will snatch your chain. You come out here wearing that chain on me.
2 possessions this half, and Kansas has gone up and down the field on this defense.
Neal remains in the backfield. Daniels throws in the middle. That's Luke Grimm.
I stand corrected. I improperly disparaged Tim Brown. It was not him. That was Michael Crabtree who had the chain snatch.
Yeah. They had a couple of run-ins, those two. First down for Kansas from their own 37. Coming up on 2:30, left in the quarter. Daniels to the outside. He's got Grimm. Incomplete. And Grimm looked to the inside, looked to the outside, looked back, and then the ball was thrown to the outside.
You're absolutely right. He's wide open, and he couldn't find the ball. And that's just a case of the two of them not being on the same page. But Grimm is wide open. And this is thrown outside. He looks inside initially and then can't find it to the other side. You know, and these two, given the amount of time that Daniels has missed over the last couple of years in offseason, they haven't had a lot of time together.
Daniels missed 9 games last season because of his back. As Neal takes it over that left side.
And if you go back to 22, he missed 4 games with a shoulder injury, and those things leaked into the offseason. So when quarterbacks and receivers spend a lot of time in the spring and the summer getting used to each other, he hasn't had that time with these receivers because of those injuries.
Kansas is 5 of 8 on 3rd down. From their own 38. Daniels over the middle, incomplete, intended for Lawrence Arnold.
Just missed him. He had him. A little antsy. We talked about the difficulty and confidence throwing over the middle. He had Arnold there, and he just rushed it. He was a little bit antsy about it. You'll see right in the middle of the field. He's open. Maybe he expected Arnold to keep moving, continue on. Again, not on the same page.
Damon Graves will have to punt it away. Rodney Gallagher standing at his own 15. From his own 20. And dropped at the 22. Here are tonight's featured games. ESPN Plus, 25th ranked Texas A&M hosting Bowling Green. That's at 7:30 Eastern. Hey, Val, Arch Manning, #1 Texas hosting Louisiana Monroe. That's at 8 Eastern. Make sure you get ESPN Plus. Go to plus.com or download the ESPN app. Hey, look what Arch did now.
Yeah. Why was everybody so surprised about his athleticism? Did they forget that Cooper Manning is his dad?
Right.
Cooper was a wide receiver.
Not Peyton.
Not Peyton, not Eli.
Not Eli.
It was Cooper.
That's a great point. Garrett Green's going to keep it. Why not? It's like every time he runs with it, it's a first down.
And had an escort. Remack, the left guard, pulled around and led him through the hole. After he'd already gained 5 yards, there was still plenty of room. So nothing that Kansas was prepared for. At this point, the best option for West Virginia is Green and his feet.
14-yard carry. He's their leading rusher. He's got 56 yards rushing.
Averaging 7 yards a carry.
Oh, Jaheim White split out, and it's a false start.
False start. Offense number 66. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Let's go down to the field. Here's Lauren.
Guys, keep an eye on Green. He got rocked pretty bad on that last drive. He came off the sidelines, was a little frustrated, kind of waved off the trainer, said he was fine. He came over to the sidelines, was throwing the football, trying to stay loose. It looks like he's a little frustrated, but also a little banged up. So we'll see how he does on this drive.
You're right. He did shake his right shoulder after making that run.
He does not believe in sliding.
Play fake. Green evades and finally brought down.
He is a tough cookie at quarterback, and he was a baseball player growing up. Knows how to slide. His father, Charlie, was a former major league catcher, but he doesn't believe in going down. He says everybody else, all my teammates, they take hits, they give hits.
That's the end of the third quarter.
Blake Harrell credited with the sack. And we have now played 3. We go to the critical fourth quarter where both teams have had issues, and it's Kansas on top.
Advantage when there's adversity. How do you guys finish strong here in the fourth quarter?
Well, I think this is going to be a test of who we are. We got to dig down. We had a big stop there after a turnover where Gary got hit, and we got to figure out a way to get out of this long yardage situation and get the ball in the end zone.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Fourth quarters have been the Achilles heel for both of these squads. Keep in mind, both of them coming off of fourth quarter collapses last week. Green's going to keep it despite being injured the last time he ran with it. But there's Marvin Grant to wrap him up, bring him down. How about this? You can see Kansas led UNLV. Less than 2 minutes, they were up 4. They lost that game by 3. And then in the backyard brawl, the big rivalry game, they were up 10, West Virginia.
That
lost
upset
that
a
game
lot
by
of
4.
folks, a lot
Absolutely.
of fans, yeah.
Here's Green under pressure, and he's got to float it off, and he gets it to White. And White is bottled up by the Jayhawks, and they're going to have to punt it away, and Garrett Green got up slowly.
You know, that fourth quarter loss last week to Pitt, as you mentioned, you know, upset a lot of fans, a lot of supporters and the like, and it reignited the discussion about Brown and his status and situation here. And he says, you know, he's used to that. He knows what's at stake in this game. This is the conference opener for both teams, a chance to get right and to stay or get into the Big 12 conference race.
Well, listen, despite the struggles of both of these squads, all they got to do is look at what happened with Oklahoma State last year.
That's
Remember?
right.
It was the South Alabama.
Yep.
Right before they began conference play. They opened conference play with a loss.
Yep.
And then rolled off like 5-6 wins, ended up in the championship.
Well,
game.
and both these coaches have cited that to their team, saying, look, you know, we're a long way from being out of this. We just need to get right today, and then we can get on a streak here, just like Oklahoma State did last year.
Let's take a look at the college football rankings brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Ohio State is all of a sudden opened up their lead over Marshall. And, of course, you've got a number of games taking place this evening. 33-yard punt, and now it is the Jayhawks with the football from their own 35. And it's Devin Neal right up the middle. Josiah Trotter makes the stopping for Kansas. You're trying to end this streak of one-possession losses. They've had 2 straight losses here. 1 possession has been the margin of those losses.
Well, when they've been good today, they've had long drives, you know, 75 yards, and so 10, 12 play drives, and been able to run the football. Let's see if they can duplicate that now.
Daniels spins out. He's going to throw on the run, and that's incomplete.
Well, he has not had time. I don't blame him for being, you know, a little frustrated. I mean, he's just been under fire, running for his life all day as a passer. And if we were worried about his confidence coming in, he's justified now, maybe not having enough confidence in the offensive line the way that he's been running around back there. 5 of 8 in the second half.
He's been off target on his last 3 throws. Kansas 5 of 9 on 3rd down. Someone got to jump up top, but it's complete to Jarrett Casey, the tight end.
That is a good throw. That is a throw on a little tight end slant. And it was a bullet. I mean, he threw this one with authority. He wasn't worried about underneath coverage. He sees exactly what he needs. He saw how this time he started looking to his left, didn't see it, came back to his right. Quick game. He's been good with the quick game.
From their own 46, Jayhawks. Daniels just tosses it to Neal and picks up a couple. Well, coming up later on ABC, we'll watch 16th ranked LSU and UCLA, and that's at 7:30. You got number 6 Tennessee taking on 15th ranked Oklahoma. You can always watch it on ESPN Plus as well.
These are a couple of outstanding games, Tennessee and Oklahoma. That's an SEC battle now in 2024.
Coach Heupel coming back to where he was a legend there at Oklahoma. He'll run the option.
Speed option.
Daniels is going to keep it. He crosses midfield in West Virginia territory at the 46. 6-yard pickup.
Haven't seen a lot of the option. And, you know, the really good coaches save something for late in the game to show the opposition they haven't seen. The speed option is that play right now for Jeff Grimes, the offensive coordinator, bringing that back into the mix. Something that West Virginia hasn't seen this game, really.
3rd and 2. 2 tight ends for Kansas. Play fake to Neal. Throw to the outside, too high for Trevor Cardell, who was out of bounds.
Be surprised with that call with a 3rd and 2 like that, a chance maybe to be in a 2-down situation, to run it a couple times.
I'd give it to Neal.
I would have given it to him on that 3rd down and then try to see what you had on 4th.
And they're going to have to go for it here.
I think that's my point. If you've already decided that you're going for it on 4th down, then you need to run it on 3rd down.
That's a heck of a catch by Cardell. Too bad it was out of bounds.
Yeah, and they're going to kick it.
Yeah, now they run the punter in, Damon Graves.
Australian punter, a continuation of the inability to find punters in the US of A.
5-yard
Everybody
penalty.
finds him in Australia. Second career for this young man. He was an Aussie rules football player. He is a 24-year-old sophomore.
They got to delay a game there. You know, they ran the punting team out late.
Yeah.
So everyone thought they were going to go for it, and then all of a sudden the punt team came storming on, and Coach Leipold is not happy about it.
But that's on the coaching staff.
The previous play is under further review. Rolling on the field was an incomplete pass.
That might save him an issue there, because they weren't clear about whether they wanted to go for it on 4th down or not.
Well, again, that severe weather we have been talking about apparently has made its way here near the stadium. And so they are going to suspend the game right now and see if this weather will pass through. For West Virginia, this is the second time this has happened. It happened when they played Penn State in their season opener, and it was a lengthy delay. Hopefully this one will be a lot shorter.
A lot on the line in this ball game, and you know, players would like to keep playing and stay focused and stay warm. You'll have to, depending on how long this delay could be, it's almost like starting a game over if you have to really warm up all over again.
By the way, they're still reviewing that play before. Kevin Marr, you see him there. And it was a one-handed grab by the tight end, Trevor Cardell. It's a nice catch. Was he in bounds? Beautiful one-hand snag.
Yeah, hard to tell. Remember, you need indisputable video evidence to overturn the call on the field. Great one-handed grab.
It's about where the feet when he had possession of the football.
It's a better look than the last one.
After further review, the previous pass play stands. It'll be 4th down.
Not enough
When we return.
evidence.
So it will be 4th down when we resume play. Take a look at today's player spotlight. It is brought to you by Febreze and partner. What about Devin Neal? 96 yards, 21 carries thus far in the touchdown.
I think most of the country does not know about Devin Neal and what he's done for Kansas. I mean, he has a chance to own pretty much every rushing record, including season rushing record there, and he's been the guy for them in critical situations. 96 yards, 4.5 yards, 4.6 yards per carry. I would imagine if we get this game restarted, he's going to have to be big in the 4th quarter if Kansas is going to hang on to their 4-point lead.
Well, besides Devin Neal, how about the Grim Reaper, Luke Grimm? He's made 6 catches, 75 yards. He's also got a tutty.
Yeah, he's been tremendous today, coming up with even a little trickeration, showing his ability to run with the football. And it would be an even bigger day for him if Daniels had more protection, when he's trying to throw. But Grimm has delivered when he's had the opportunity, and it's everything Kansas has needed in their passing attack, a guy to step up and make plays, and he's done that today.
West Virginia has dominated this series. They've won 10 of the last 12 meetings. The last time these two programs played 2 years ago, right here in Morgantown, and it was Kansas who won it in overtime. In fact, West Virginia 6-1 against Kansas here in Morgantown. And if I'm not mistaken, in 2022, Jaylen Daniels was a star in that game, threw 3 touchdowns.
Well, that was a game that announced him as a superstar.
Here it is, September of that year. And there was one of those touchdown passes, and it was the Mamba who sealed the win for the Jayhawks with this 86-yard pick 6. And it was the Jayhawks who beat West Virginia 55-42. Jaylen Daniels was a baller.
Yeah.
Threw for 219, 3 touchdowns through the air.
Yeah, ran for 85. And that's when people started talking about this dual threat that's going to have a remarkable career at Kansas. That was his coming out game.
Well, here's tonight's feature games on ESPN Plus. A&M, Bowling Green at 7:30, and then you got Arch Manning and number 1 ranked Texas hosting Louisiana Monroe. That comes your way at 8 Eastern. Make sure you get ESPN Plus. Go to plus.com or just download the ESPN app. So we are in a weather delay here in Morgantown, and it's the Jayhawks up 4. 2 teams at 1 and 2. It is the Big 12 Conference opener. Crucial game for both of these programs. Take a break. We'll come back, take it to the studio. Kevin Connors, Trevor Maddox. before the half. Second half, Kansas got the football. They went 75 yards in their first possession. Luke Grimm with that touchdown catch. We're all tied up at 14. Next possession, Daniel Highshaw gets in, and it was Kansas up 21-17, and that is where we stand right now because we had weather come into the area, and the weather delay went almost 2 hours here in Morgantown. Both programs at 1 and 2, both of them talking about a sense of urgency with this game. They need it, and both have had collapses in the fourth quarter, Rob.
Yeah, they both have had issues in the fourth quarter, and here's another fourth quarter. And if you think about just what happened to, West Virginia last week against Pitt, they blew a 10-point lead with 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Similar issues for Kansas, and now we're back with a 4th down, and Kansas giving the ball back to West Virginia.
So 4th down and 7. Damon Graves will be punting things off. Back deep for the Mountaineers, standing at his own 7-yard line. And calling for the fair catch. That's Preston Fox.
Because I would expect West Virginia to be comfortable in this situation since they went through this kind of a delay in week 1 against Penn State.
Garrett Green has run it 10 times for 55 yards, 9 of 20, 209 yards passing. He's got a couple of interceptions. Jaheim White with him in the backfield. He's got a bunch set at the top of your screen. And it's White. Over the left side, Devin Dye makes the stop.
We've lost a lot of the crowd that was here before the weather delay began. And again, you'd never know we had any sort of weather issue looking at the field now. Sunshine, clean, dry.
Second and 6 coming now for the Mountaineers. Green to keep it. And coming off that edge is Marvin Grant. To stop him as he got to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
I wonder how well Kansas reacts to this delay, how they feel about it, how warmed up they are, what kind of continuity, execution that they can bring to bear here after sitting for a while. So far, the defense looks like it's handling it okay.
This is 3rd and 5 from their own 14. Green in and out of the hands of Gallagher. Let's go down the field and Lauren.
Yeah, guys, I think both teams had a plan going in. Of course, West Virginia said they've been through this before. I talked to their GM, Drew Fabionich. We talked to him yesterday, Brian. You remember in the locker room, he said really they just take the pads off, they stay warm. And for West Virginia, they get to split up. They have the weight room, they have the locker room, they can spread out. Kansas, on the other hand, man, they are huddled up under that tunnel like sardines slammed in there. And so every 10 minutes, the coaches were blowing a whistle, hey, get up, warm up. They had snacks over there, tell them to carb up. And so talking to Devin Neal, though, he said, look, I'm ready to roll. Feels like there's a little juice here on the sideline, so I think these guys are ready to come out and play. But, man, weather delays are tough.
Oliver Straw punting it away to Trevor Wilson. This is really the first 3 and out for either team here today. So 9:23 left in this one, and it's the Jayhawks clean to a 4-point lead. Goal extra point made by participating universities by making a donation to the university's General Scholarship Fund, and we thank you, Allstate. It'll be 1st and 10 here for Kansas. 9:19 left, and it's the Jayhawks with a 4-point lead. Brian Custer, Rod Gilmore, Lauren Sisler with you here in Morgantown. 1-score lead here for the Jayhawks. Do you know they've had 8 one-score games since the beginning of 2023? Most in the nation as Devin Neal gets the call there.
That's a lot. That's a lot of one-score. You know, it's funny, talking to their staff, they talked about the fact that they don't have a huge margin for error this season or last season. There's 3 to 5 plays a game that makes the difference in winning or losing for them, and they were the beneficiary of a lot of those last year, and they've not been a beneficiary this year.
Devin Neal with that carry now has over 4,000 yards in his career from the line of scrimmage. That's second in the nation among active players. Only Marquez Cooper, San Diego State, has more. And he looks to add to it. Lowers his shoulder. And he's close to the line of game, maybe a yard shy.
Jaylen Daniels is very good at that option. He ran a little bit of everything for Kansas. Quarterback who was under the radar coming out of high school. He was in the same class with some pretty talented quarterbacks. Bryce Young, DJ Uiagalelei down there in Southern California. They got all the stars and recognition. He didn't.
And speaking of Devin Neal, he's now gone over 100 yards rushing. He's gone over 100 all 4 games this season for Kansas. 3 tight ends for the Jayhawks. Diamond formation. And it's Neal, and he's met right at the line of scrimmage by Josiah Trotter. And the redshirt freshman who hurt his left knee makes the stop in the first half of the game.
Yeah, good movement by the defensive line. They were slanting to the left side of the defense, opened up the lane for Trotter, and now you've got a 4th down and short. Now, if they miss this, it'd be really good field position for West Virginia, but I think you absolutely, given the situation, Kansas, this is a worthwhile gamble. Analytics say go.
Daniel Highshaw in. They're going to run the option. Pitches it to Highshaw. He cuts back. He's got a first down and more, and brought down at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, and credit Jared Casey, the tight end, number 47. Good block, kicking out the defender so that there was a cutback lane for the first down. Now watch the block to the edge. That is the block that drives out the defender, and that was the safety, Anthony Wilson Jr. He just kicked him out. So there was plenty of room for Highshaw to get back in and pick up the first down.
1st and 10 for Kansas from the West Virginia 34. They'll keep it on the ground.
If you are West Virginia, you can't give up a touchdown here. You can't give up anything more than 3. A 2-score game this late, you may not have enough possessions to get back. The way that Kansas has burned up the clock today in the second half, you have to get a stop or you have to hold Kansas to a field goal.
Kansas over 200 yards rushing in this game, 219 to be exact. Mountaineers with 111.
And Daniels and company cannot take a loss here.
They flip it to Grimm on the end around. Grimm down the sideline. The Grimm Reaper has struck again.
That is the same reverse that they ran earlier for a big play, a big gainer. They come back with it, and it looked almost identical. West Virginia bit on the initial move to the right, and nobody really left side. You see all the blue jerseys trying to come back. The wall had already been set up by Kansas, so none of the West Virginia players could get outside to get to Grimm. Wow, that's a huge, huge play. Big score.
Lead is 10. Make it 11. As Kansas, thanks to Luke Grimm, gets into the end zone, and the Jayhawks up 11 with 5:39 to play here in Morgantown. 54 yards. Jayhawks did it in 3 minutes and 40 seconds, and it was Luke Grimm who took it to the house, and the Jayhawks now up 11.
How about some of those historically great players for Kansas? Milton Cromwell, great safety, defensive back at Kansas and in the NFL for a long, long time. LA Rams and company.
Traylon Ray is back deep for the Mountaineers.
You know, I'm a little surprised that West Virginia didn't come out a little bit better than Kansas, given that West Virginia had every advantage. I mean, they've been through a delay before. They're at home, as Lauren mentioned, their own locker room, their own snacks, their own weight room, all that, while Kansas was over in a small visitor's locker room, hadn't had a delay before, and cramped around, and they pulled it together to really jump on West Virginia to start this restart of the game.
Well, let's see what West Virginia has. Their last 3 drives: interception, a punt, and then a 3 and out.
Yeah, not good.
Garrett Green over the middle, and caught by Hudson Clement. And they'll go with the hurry up.
Yeah, they have to. There's not enough time to have more than 2 possessions, probably. So they need to hurry now and get a score and hope they can get a 3 and out and get at least another possession.
Again over the middle, and Gallagher. Rodney Gallagher makes the catch.
Very soft zone coverage by Kansas, and Green doing a nice job of finding the seams. And again, well protected. Let's see how much pressure we get. Here it comes.
Here he comes. Green hit as he throws it, and incomplete.
You see, Kansas changed up at that point. You know what? We're not going to just sit back and watch them go down the field with the quarterback not being effective. So that time they brought 5. 2, 4, 5, and an extra, actually 6 coming in, as J.B. Brown was the last one to get in there.
Under 5 minutes left. To the outside, incomplete. He was looking at Clement.
I've always been a believer that in these situations defensively, you cannot rush 3 and drop 8. It just gives the quarterback too much time. You know, he can see the field too well, too much pressure on your secondary. You have to bring at least 4 in these situations.
Third and 10. Atwood to the tight end, Cole Taylor. That was right at the stick.
Is that Cole Taylor's first catch?
First catch
wow.
of the day.
6'7", 255, a big target.
Looks like that's Cornell Wheeler. Transfer out of Michigan. Linebacker for Kansas, that's down. They tend to him. Let's step aside. 11-point lead for the Jayhawks. 4:35 left. Had a 2-hour weather delay here in Morgantown, but we've resumed action here in the 4th quarter. 4:35 left in this game, and it's the Jayhawks with an 11-point lead. Both of these programs at 1 and 2. The Big 12 conference opener for both programs, and Kansas trying to win its conference opener for the 3rd straight season. West Virginia trying to avoid going 1 and 3 for the first time since 2003. Here's Garrett Green under pressure, escapes down the sideline and knocked out of bounds, and all the flags come flying.
Yeah, that's a late hit. There's no question about it. That was Grant coming across, Marvin Grant, the 5th-year senior, from the safety spot, and Green was clearly out of bounds. 2-3 steps worth of out of bounds.
After the play was over, personal foul, late hit, out of bounds. Defense number 4, half the distance to the goal, automatic push down.
That is a big play. It gives West Virginia a lot of life, gives them some yardage here, and they've got a chance to get into the end zone pretty quickly. This drive has not taken a whole lot of time.
They'll mark it at the 11. So if you're West Virginia, you can still get a first down at the 1.
They've done a nice job in this 2-minute offense to get down the field in a hurry.
Green's going to keep it. Breaks a tackle. And another one and slides out of bounds. Inside the 10.
Well, the most important thing is that he's cut out of bounds. Saved some time off the clock temporarily. The clock continues to run once the ball is spotted.
We'll call it 2nd and 7. They place it at the 8. The tight end in the slot. And that's incomplete.
It seemed like he was unsure. He threw it in between 2 receivers.
Yeah, Traylon Ray and his tight end, Cole Taylor.
Yeah, Taylor was short, and Ray was further towards the back of the end zone. He threw it in between the 2 of them. Maybe somebody ran the wrong route, but that was very odd to see.
3:30 left in the game.
You expect man coverage on the outside and zone coverage in the middle of the field. That would be typically what you get out of Kansas down here.
Green, he's got the tight end and his roommate Cole Taylor for 6.
And that was exactly the coverage they got. And they ran the corner who was over in man coverage toward the inside. And so Taylor was matched up with a linebacker heading outside who was trying to catch up from being in zone coverage. A mismatch, great read by Green, and the touchdown.
2 tight ends come in as West Virginia will go for 2 here. Green flips it to Ray. Ray throws to the end zone, and Taylor makes the catch. We've been asking about that tight end, and he's come up big here in the past minute.
Where's he been all game? The whole game he's been ignored until now, late in the game when they need it. And he comes up big with a touchdown catch, and then equally as big with a 2-point conversion. And how about this trickeration and the decision to throw this? I mean, this is a great play after you see the touchdown catch by Taylor, but the 2-point play, a little trickeration, and come back around, and then the last second decision there by Ray to toss it up high to his 6'7" tight end. Beautiful. Looked like a quarterback on that.
Lead is now just 3 and 3:27 to play.
Big decision. Are you confident with your defense and you kick this off, hoping that you can get a stop and get the ball back? Or are you going to onside kick? With your timeouts, if you believe in your defense, you kick the ball off.
Well, Michael Hayes is the man who will be doing the kicking. Wilson is standing back at his own goal line. Hayes is going to kick it. Wilson from his own 7. Cross midfield. Oh, he gets blocked. Woo, what a pop he took at the 19.
That's another whop, whop, whop. Wow. Talk about your special teams play of the day. It's a big hit.
As we take a look at the last drive here for Kansas. And the result was 6.
Yeah, it was the trickeration with Grimm on the reverse that capped off that drive.
Well, here's Daniel, Devin Neal. They'll go to Neal. Cut back. Breaks a tackle. That's a hard 3 he picked up.
You're West Virginia, you've got 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute timeout. You might think about using a timeout to save some clock for your offense.
We're under 3 minutes now.
No reason for Kansas to rush.
They've dropped 2 straight. The Jayhawks have. Trying to put an end to that losing streak. They'll go to Neal again. Over the right side. 3rd down coming. Anthony Wilson makes the stop for the Mountaineers.
West Virginia finally uses a timeout. I thought they might have used one earlier and saved a good 30 seconds on the clock. This is a huge 3rd down. If Kansas picks up this 3rd down, West Virginia is going to have to use their remaining timeouts to save clock and try to get the ball back.
Both of these teams 50% when it comes to converting 3rd downs. 6 of 12.
And if you're thinking, what might Kansas do here? They've had success with the option play, and they've had success with misdirection in the form of reverses and the like. And if they do throw it, you can be certain that it's going to be a throw to the outside by Daniels, something quick.
Third down and 4. Kansas up 3.
Showing man coverage on the outside.
From their own 26. It's Neal. And he's brought down at the line of scrimmage by Sean Martin.
They went to one of their favorite plays, the stretch play, and West Virginia expected it. They slanted their defensive line in the proper direction, anticipating that, and get the stop. And watch that line slant that way. They actually beat the linemen to the spot. Excellent defensive call that time by West Virginia.
And they'll use another timeout. That's the first, Rod, 3 and out for the Kansas offense today.
Yeah, and you know, Jordan Leslie, the defensive coordinator, was reading from the Kansas playbook there, anticipating that stretch play and moving his defense in that direction. Excellent.
So Damon Graves will come in to kick things away.
West Virginia will have 1 timeout left plus the 2-minute timeout. So
Preston Fox is back deep at his own 30. Fox, fair catch at his own 33. We've talked about the 4th quarter, how both teams have had issues in the 4th quarter. Both coaches stressed to us, we got to win the 4th quarter.
Yeah, and you always save something for the 4th quarter as a staff. Defensively for Kansas, now is the time for that blitz or that coverage you haven't shown earlier to try and confuse Garrett Green. And for West Virginia, there may be a play that they have not run, or they have not run since the 1st quarter, they might want to come back to now.
Hudson Clement has been the guy when you talk about throwing the football.
Yep.
Jaheim White is in the backfield alongside Garrett Green. Rodney Gallagher in motion. Green under pressure, rolls right. He's got a lot of field ahead of him. And that should be enough for a 1st down.
Well, you knew he wasn't going to slide. He just doesn't believe in it.
Dean Miller got the stop. They'll get to the line of scrimmage.
I don't think they get that off.
They will not. We get to the 2-minute timeout. You can see Green was trying to get a playoff before that timeout. We got 2 minutes in Morgantown, and it's the Jayhawks up 3. Will the redshirt senior Michael Hayes play a part in this game? Mountaineers down 3. This is a guy in 2022 when he was at Georgia State, kicked a 52-yarder But here in West Virginia, his career long, well, about 49 yards. That was last year.
His long this season is a 44. If I'm West Virginia, I'd like for him to have that same kick if necessary.
They're coming after Green over the middle. That's complete to Clement. And he's in Jayhawk territory.
I'll tell you, Clement has been the unsung hero for West Virginia, the way he has caught the ball and run routes. And he's had some matchups today. He's been working over there against Mello Dotson, and he's beaten him a couple times on that slant.
Minute 40. Jet sweep. Gallagher. He's brought down at the 41 of the Jayhawks.
I'd say they need about 15 yards to be comfortable with a kick.
Minute 20. Green looking, steps up and brought down. Back in the line of scrimmage, J.B. Brown makes the stop for Kansas and a timeout.
Yeah, he ran into that time. He needed to be more patient in the pocket, but he got a little bit antsy and ran into that sack. Now, he was not really stressed right here. Plenty of time, take your shot, but he starts to panic and figures he needs to take off and didn't realize J.B. Brown was sitting there as a spy.
Yeah, I was going to say, J.B., you can see he's the spy.
Yeah, he's lurking right there in the middle of the field, just watching every move. And he's like, oh, you're going to kind of run? That's why I'm here. That's my job. I'm going to do my job. But that was all because Green didn't hang in the pocket a couple beats longer.
So the Mountaineers will be looking at a 3rd down and 6 from the Jayhawk 42.
Yeah, we were talking about this. 15 yards to make it comfortable. A kick that you could have a lot of confidence with. But you've got to get something from here. Otherwise, you're looking at a kick well north of 50 yards. From this spot right here, you're looking at a 60-yarder.
When you look at Hayes' career from 50-plus, 1 of 4.
So if you don't make the first down, you have got to pick up enough yardage to make the kick at least possible.
Let's see if they go to Cole Taylor in the slot at the bottom of your screen.
That's a good matchup, you point out.
50% on 3rd down, 6 of 12 is what the Mountaineers have done here today.
Man coverage.
He's looking. He's going to take off. He's got a 1st down. Cuts back and brought down at the 29. Devin Guy makes the stop.
Garrett Green has done it all day with his legs.
Green again, looking. And will take off again. Upended by Kobe Bryant.
That is from right there. That is a 42-yard field goal attempt.
And you got to let the defense.
Yep.
You line up and get set. Kansas will call the timeout. 37 seconds left here, and if you can't, Coach Leipold, you're thinking to yourself, not again. Listen, we've had these one-score possession games, and they're coming in on that 2-game losing streak. They want to put an end to that.
Well, let's not forget, this is a must-win game
for both
of them. And this is the opener in the Big 12. And remember, this is 2024. This is not 2023. 12-team playoff. If you win the Big 12, you will get in the playoff. So you can forget about the non-conference games. This is a new start. The winner actually is in really good shape going forward.
Yeah.
You know, you get a good win to open the Big 12. You have every reason to be confident going forward. But if you are Kansas, you have seen close games slip away. You've seen the 4th quarter slip away.
West Virginia was in this position last week against Pitt. They were up 10. Less than 4 minutes to play. Ended up losing that game.
Well, Garrett Green has to remember he has a field goal in his back pocket. He has to be careful with the football here. He can't take a sack. They can't take a loss. And he has to throw the ball away if he doesn't have something very clear. And I'm sure Neil Brown reminded him of that during that timeout.
Kansas up on UNLV. It ended up losing that game last week in the fourth quarter. Green throwing to the end zone. And incomplete. Hudson Clement and flags fly. He was working with Mello Dotson.
Well, you can see.
Pass interference. Defense number 3. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
As the game wore on, West Virginia got more and more confidence working Grimm against Dotson. And this was simply, you go, man, and I'm going to throw the ball up, and you see if you can make a play. They got the single coverage on Dotson, and Dotson normally finds where the ball is, but this time he was in a trail position, could not find the ball, was holding the shoulder pad. You're going to get flagged every time that way.
First and goal for West Virginia from the 10. And flags.
False start. Offense number 50. 5-yard penalty. First down.
It is the same deal for Garrett Green. If you don't have something, we take a look at that. Yep, it's really just right up front there. Is that Yates? I think that was Yates who had the false start.
Yes.
But for the same thing for Green. You can't take sacks. You can't leave the ball hanging. You have to be safe with it. And remember, you have 2 corners out there who are ball hawks.
So first and goal now from the 15. Taylor in motion. He throws to the outside. Got Gallagher. Gallagher. Touchdown. West Virginia. The sophomore out of Pennsylvania. First career touchdown catch. And the Mountaineers go up 3. And once again, another heartbreaking fourth quarter collapse for the Jayhawks.
And for Kansas, 2 tremendous fourth quarter drives by the quarterback, Garrett Green. Showed toughness, composure, and put the ball on the money.
We talked about the one-score drama that Kansas has had, but West Virginia, how about 15 points here in the last 3 minutes, Rob?
Yeah, it's really something. You get Gallagher kind of creeping out to that side after the wide receiver ran inside, and that pulled Dotson inside, and really he had no choice but to try to come over late. That was not his guy. A tremendous play call, great throw. And how about West Virginia bouncing back from blowing a fourth quarter lead last week to being down now, coming back with 2 impressive drives in the hurry-up offense to take the lead with 26 seconds to go.
Give Chad Scott, the offensive coordinator of West Virginia, some credit for his play calling.
They did a great job getting Cole Taylor involved in the game. And then Gallagher showing up with the mismatches he was able to create. Impressive.
So Hayes to kick it away. And the Jayhawks will have 26 seconds and 75 yards. They've got 2 timeouts.
Hey, I got a question for you. Do you think some of the heat Neil Brown might lessen after this fourth quarter comeback?
Without question.
Yeah.
The way they came back?
Yeah. And they have a bye week after this if they can hold on for 26 seconds.
Well, you got 2 timeouts if you're Kansas. Daniels throwing to the outside, knocked away. Anthony Wilson leads the team in tackles. And listen, the coaches will tell you, out of everyone in that secondary, that young man's playing the best.
Yeah, the transfer from Georgia Southern. Done a good job today. This is a tremendous job. Left hand behind, right hand in front. And this is a depleted secondary. Number of injuries today, but these guys out here are playing well this drive.
Daniels looking for Grimm. Grimm. Oh, that's Arnold who makes the catch.
All 6'3" of him. And again, at some point, zone coverage becomes man-to-man coverage. And even though they're playing zone, at some point, you are stuck one-on-one. And really good job of Daniels just to put the ball up and give Arnold a chance to make a play. 15 seconds gives you time for 2 plays at least.
36-yard pitch and catch.
2 timeouts for Kansas. You can throw over the middle and stop the clock.
From the West Virginia 39, Daniels knocked away. Tyron Bradley Jr. comes up with the play and saves the game for the Mountaineers. Emotional leader of the defense came off the edge, knocked it right out of the hands of Jaylen Daniels, and West Virginia will get their 2nd win of the season.
What a play. And how about the presence of mind to swipe down? He knows exactly where that ball is, and Bradley Jr. swipes down, knocks it out, and ends the game essentially for West Virginia. That is, there's no question, that is a fumble. Arm was not moving forward before the ball was knocked out.
Kevin Marr wants to take another look.
That is such presence of mind on the pass rush by Bradley.
He's a senior.
After further review, ruling on the field is confirmed. First down, West Virginia.
So West Virginia is going to get their 2nd win of the season and open up conference play with a victory. Kansas has now dropped 3 straight. Right now, I'll start with West Virginia, Neil Brown. Boy, back against the walls, what the sports section said here. Give me your thoughts on what you saw, the resilience.
Well, the last 2 drives, incredibly impressive. They were down 11, and it looked like things were over. And they had a hurry-up 2-minute drive to get a touchdown and come right back and handle things. They got the 2-point conversion, and they come right back down the field again. What Garrett Green did that drive, running the football, just shows you some resilience, and maybe they are turning the page. They get a week off now with a bye. They're 1-0 in the conference.
And then they got a gauntlet coming.
Then the gauntlet is coming, but this is a huge win for West Virginia and Neil Brown in particular.
And then on the other side, when you look at Kansas, one of the things that Coach Leipold said is, how do we respond when adversity hits?
Well, it wasn't the adversity that killed them in the 4th quarter. They were up 2 scores, and they couldn't close out the game. That's going to haunt them. They needed a stop. 2 opportunities, they could not get a stop. And then when they couldn't pick up any yardage, it opened the door for West Virginia.
4-point win for the Mountaineers. As they come back and get the victory. Let's go down to the field, and our Lauren Sisler with the winning coach, Neil Brown.
Coach Neil, they were just talking about it in the booth. The newspaper saying the back's against the wall, and look, here you are getting the win. win today. How big is this one for your football team?
It's huge, and our backs are against the wall, especially after not coming out and doing very well the first drive after the lightning delay. But I knew we had the right kind of character guys on our team. I knew we had really good leadership. We know what we're doing as a staff, and I'm so proud of our guys for just finding a way to finish.
What do you think the big key was for your guys to get it done, especially here late?
We got Garrett Green, and they don't. I mean, I'm serious. Like, he's got a little special quality, and man, he just found a way. There's nobody better in 2-minute offense than we have been the last 2 years.
All right, let's bring in Garrett. Garrett, come on over here real quick. Looks like you're having a good time over here. Who was that little kid you're tossing around there?
It's Coach Brown's little one, Dak.
His little one. Big win for you guys. How did you get it done? That toss over to Gallagher, I know that was huge for you guys.
Yeah, I think it shows the resiliency of this group. First 3 weeks didn't really go as planned, but we stayed consistent to the work. Got a great win against a great Kansas team going into the bye week. So, now we rest up and then get ready for Oklahoma State.
You got a little banged up there in the first half going into the third quarter. You guys obviously had the rain delay. Lots of distractions going on. How did you keep yourself composed during that time?
You just got to keep the main thing the main thing. We come here to play football, not do anything else. So we just got football the main thing, and we came out victorious.
How good does it feel to have a bye week coming up to kind of get you guys reset?
It was really good, especially how my body's feeling right now. I'm fired up for it.
All right, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Well, victorious are the Mountaineers as they get the 4-point victory. Kansas 28, West Virginia 32. Thanks to Garrett Green and company, who come back in the fourth quarter this time and get the victory. Thank you for watching. From my partner, Rod Gilmore, Lawrence Sisler, spotter Dan Bridges, Stats, Joe Castellano, Jim McDermott, I'm Brian Custer. Thanks for watching. Good night from Morgantown.